From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, September 11th, 2014. Silver is trading at $18.78 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,243 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $476. Antiwar.com reports Iraqi Kurdistan's political leadership, under intense pressure from the Obama administration, gave its backing to the new Iraqi central government, but that doesn't mean they're on board unconditionally, and the big issue of oil revenue remains unresolved. The Kurdistan regional government has rejected the proposed Abadi government oil plan, which is to pay installments on past oil exports to the Kurdish government going forward. The KRG has owed nearly $8 billion since January, when Iraq cut them off from promised oil payments over export disputes. The Kurds tried to export oil on their own to make up the difference, but threats of lawsuits by Iraq have made buyers tough to come by. Iraq maintains they just don't have the money anymore because of their budget shortfall, and is also trying to condition the installment payments on Kurdistan agreeing to once again give the central government a monopoly on production and exports of oil. Abadi may have the Kurds on board for the time being, but there is no guarantee they will remain there if the oil dispute, as well as the territorial disputes over Kirkuk, remain unresolved. FPP Radio News is brought to you by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage. For over 35 years, Roberts & Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They now take Bitcoin for purchasing precious metals so you can turn your profits into a long-term investment. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing. 800-874-9760. The New York Times reports demonstrators hoping to block Interstate 70 in Ferguson, Missouri on Wednesday to protest the fatal shooting of Michael Brown a month ago were barred by the police from entering the highway. Local officials said 35 people had been arrested, most for unlawful assembly, but 4 for assaulting officers. The demonstrators were outnumbered by more than 100 officers from 3 law enforcement agencies. One demonstrator, Charles Brooks, was among those who sat down on the road shouting, "McCulloch got to go! McCulloch got to go!" A reference to the St. Louis County prosecutor Robert P. McCulloch, whose office is investigating the shooting. The demonstration took place about 5 miles from the street in Ferguson where Brown was killed by police officer Darren Wilson on August 9th. Some witnesses had said Brown had put his hands up in surrender. Wilson has not been charged and has been placed on leave. The demonstration was meant to last 4.5 hours, symbolizing the death of Brown and the amount of time that his body laid in the street after his death. Organizers had hoped to pressure Governor Jay Nixon to appoint a special prosecutor to lead the investigation of the killing. During the 2013 Porcupine Freedom Festival, Davi Barker presented an idea for a renegade psychological experiment. Since then, he has refined his idea and put his plan and research into writing. He explains, "We aim to show the world beyond a shadow of a doubt that power corrupts absolutely and corrupt authority deserves no obedience." Authoritarian Sociopathy is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Antiwar.com reports, in his highly anticipated Wednesday night speech, President Obama was light on details but long on ambition for his open-ended war on ISIS, which is now expanding from Iraq into neighboring Syria. The speech focused on hyping the danger of ISIS, which Obama insisted had no vision and has to be destroyed, while laying out a war he says will follow the strategy of the Yemen and Somali air wars, except dramatically bigger. Yemen and Somalia have seen intermittent U.S. airstrikes that have not actually accomplished anything on the ground. The main resemblance the ISIS war is expected to have are the open-ended duration and lack of an endgame strategy. While he publicly hasn't confirmed the plans yet, expanding the war from Iraq into neighboring Syria also seems a foregone conclusion at this point, as officials have been downplaying the idea that they could stop ISIS in one country without stopping them planet-wide. A global war with no strategy for victory and no end in sight certainly wasn't what the American public were presented with when the campaign began, but White House officials continue to deny that mission creep is occurring. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.